Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? What's up? So, this is your boy Jebi the Mogul. You are now watching me on YouTube and TikTok. YouTube and TikTok. Charlie, if you want to watch me on YouTube, feel free to go on YouTube and watch me. If you want to watch me on TikTok, feel free. The name of the mom who said Nwane Jebi the Mogul. Jebi the Mogul. All right. So, guess what? So many things went on during the week concerning when it comes to entertainment and other issues in Ghana. You know, one thing that I want to talk about is the fact that Ghanaians are always complaining. They are always complaining about how much they get paid. Ghanaians always complain about how much they get paid. They think that they don't get paid enough in Ghana, right? They think they don't. Am I wrong? I mean, am I wrong? Please let me know. Am I wrong? If I am wrong, please let me know. Ghanaians complain about no opportunities and they get paid less. Please let me know if I am wrong. Now, have you ever asked yourself, how come the same people who complain are able to give offering and tithes? What Busa won't say, the same people who complain about not being paid well, and because they claim they are not being paid well, they cannot save. They always complain, "Oh, and I am not able to save because I don't get paid well. I don't have enough money." But guess what? Every month they are paying tithes. Every week they go to church and give offering. So, oh yes, where see the thing is, how come we don't get paid enough, but we are able to give to the church? People who claim that they don't make enough money, and because of that, they are not able to save. People will tell you that they were not paid well. Because of that, they couldn't save towards their children's education. But these same people for the past 30 years have been paying tithes and also giving offering at church. So then you ask yourself, the little money that you had, you gave it to the church because you thought that that was more important than saving for your kids' education. Listen to me, oh. The same people who claimed that they didn't have enough money, and because of that, they could not save towards their children's fees. These are the same people who give to the church, who give to the church, and at the same time pay tithe. They even offer, they pledge, even when they don't have the money, they are pledging. Thank you, sad. But these same people will tell you that I don't get paid enough. And because of that, I wasn't able to save towards my retirement. I wasn't able to save towards my children's education. But they were able to give to the church. You went to the church when the pastor was driving a Nissan. Now you are at the church and the pastor is driving a Mercedes Benz. The son is driving a Toyota. You have been going to the church and giving to the church, and you have not moved an inch from where you started. You see, I don't have anything against religion, but one thing I know is that religion has a very great bad effect on black people, has a very negative impact on us. Because of religion, people are failing to think. What I say, they are failing to reason, they are failing to think because they think that God is going to do everything for them. You see, God gave us this brain for us to be able to reason, for us to be able to do wonders. Now, black people are like, you know what? God, I don't want to use my brain. Please let me worship you with my brain. And you, God, you should do the wonders. God said, I created you as in my image. So if he created you like himself, Do you think he will leave you without his server, without his brain? He gave you everything that he has. He created you like in his image. That means he gave you the brain to be able to reason and to be able to do wonders. But because we are such lazy people, we gravitate towards the spirituality and we always want to blame something on spirit, the spiritual world. Because of laziness, people are always waiting for a pastor to give them reasons as to why they are not successful in life. And these fake pastors, the majority of these pastors are all fake. They will give you something to hear because they know that you are desperate. They know that you don't know your left and right. They know that when they tell you that this person is the one worrying you, this person is the one who wants your downfall, they know you will take it as gospel. Why do you think we have so many churches in Africa or in Ghana? Because they know that we are desperate people and they are going to feed on our desperation. Every church we go to, you sit down and try to try to pay attention to how many times they come up with strategies to take money from you. They will tell you if you want everything to go well in your life, you should come and donate what 500 Ghana cedis. If you want everything to go on in your life, the same people will come back and say, oh, if you want your job to go well, come and donate 500 Ghana cedis. Hold on. You just asked me to give you 500 Ghana cedis for you to pray for me so everything goes well in my life. After saying that, then you come back and say, if I want my job to go well, isn't my job part of everything? Please, we have to be very smart. Oh, they have ways. See, it is a business. Sometimes you don't understand why pastors try to get their church members, especially the females, to marry in the churches because church is a business and they are trying to expand. They are trying to build, like customers, basically. They are trying to expand and build the church. So they don't want any woman or, yeah, especially women to leave the church. So you have to be smart. You have to be aware when you go to a church. Okay, Don, I will fix. Let me see if I can fix it up. When you go to a church, make sure you have to see. Like I said, I don't have anything against church because if it weren't for church, right, this world would have been crazy. We would have had a lot of crazy people tearing up things. Even though we have religion, still um look at the things that people are still the crimes that they are committing even with religion. So just imagine if we didn't have religion. Imagine what they would do. Okay, so today we are here. I want to, like I said, I want to touch on so many topics. So when you tune in, please sit back, relax, and let me go over some few things that I want to get off my chest. So not long ago, we had a pastor whose name is Ojaba, right? Ojaba is a pastor in Ghana, and guess what? Ojaba was involved in infidelity, I just say, and he has cheated on his wife with another woman. So the woman came out to expose Ojaba. When he came out to expose Ojaba, instead of Ojaba to stand up and accept that, you know what, I am a man of God, I shouldn't have stooped so low, but I am a human being. So please, I apologize. Forgive me. This man had the nerve to come and sit on social media to even disrespect the woman that she was involved with, and to also disrespect the people who are his church members, basically, because as a leader, you are supposed to lead. You are supposed to lead by example. But so if you are a church leader and we have put our trust in you, and you are going around sleeping around, and when you are caught, you come and tell us, say, You are not in tab, or you are not a wood. Like, how disrespectful. But I know why he feels like he can talk to us in that manner, because he knows Ghanaians, we cannot do anything. Even the government that we pay our taxes to, do we hold them accountable? We don't. So they feel, say, all the pastors in Ghana feel like no matter what they do, we will still worship, we will still go to their churches. K2A, what's up? So you get me? So these people think that no matter what happens, we will still go to their churches because we don't have a mind of our own. We believe in the church. And once we believe in the church and we believe in God, there is no way we can forsake God. No matter what they will do, they will still come back and say, "Oh, I'm a human being." And we have some people who will come out to defend some of these pastors. So my question is, when you were being treated special, when you were given all the special treatments, when you were being given the church money for you to live your lifestyle, why didn't you say that you are a human being just like us, so you don't need them? You don't want the special treatment. When it came to special treatment because you are a man of God, you accepted it fully. When you get to occasions, they treat you like a special guest because you are a man of God. But the moment you commit a sin and we are trying to hold you accountable, that one day you come out and say, "Oh, I am me nyame nipa." No, I'm just a human being. But when it comes to being given credit, they give you much credit because of who you are. The same way, what's up, Brian? The same way we should hold you accountable and make sure that you are right with. See, Ghana, for we need to be smart. We need to be open-minded. We need to be open-minded. We cannot allow these pastors to keep making a fool out of us. Let me ask you something. You've been going to a church for the past 20 years. What has the church done to you? What has it done for you? Most of you have been giving money to the church, but you don't have any policies, insurance policies for your kids. Every month, see, listen to me, listen to me. You pay tithe, you pay offering, but you don't have any policies. You don't have any insurance, right? But guess what? The money you give to the church, the pastor uses that money to do what? To pay or to subscribe to an insurance policy for him and his children. And you are there. You don't even have an insurance policy. You don't have anything that you can rely on in case of um in case of an emergency. But every month, oh yes, every month you are paying tithe, but you cannot subscribe to an insurance policy. Please give me a second. Let me correct the. All right. So listen. I know we talk about entertainment, and that's what we are here to talk about. That's what majority of our conversation will be about. But at the same time, I want to send this message out there. My sisters and brothers, I just want to say, I just want to tell you this. Right now, if you have an insurance policy, please let me know. Say, oh, insurance policy, let me know. Please let me know. If you have an insurance policy, please let me know. Do you have an insurance policy? If you do not have an insurance policy, then let me tell you this. So you have been paying tithe, you have been paying offering for the past how many years? The pastor used some of that money to buy insurance and insurance policy and other policies for his kids. And you, as you sit here, you have kids, but you have never thought about even subscribing to any insurance policy in case something bad happens. But every month you take money out of your pay to give it to the church, and the pastor will use that money to make sure his family is set, his family is good in case of any emergency. They are okay. But you sit there and you tell yourself that no, I cannot subscribe to any insurance policy for me and my kids because we don't make enough money. Mame Pacho, you make enough money to go and give to the church, right? Come on, guys, let's be smart. If people come up to you, insurance companies come up to you and try to convince you on, subscribing to an insurance policy, which in case of death or anything happens to you, your kids will be, taken care of. Nah, people, I don't make enough. I don't say, no, I don't. But then every month you give money to the church. Every month you give money to the church. Does that make sense to you? You give money to the church, and when something happens, you have to call your friends to put money together and look out for you. Every race is intentional about what they do with their race and how they raise their children. It is only Black people that we don't have any plans, not all of us, but majority of us don't have any plans in place to protect their children's future. For how long are you going to allow some of these fake pastors to keep taking advantage of you? You know that they are taking advantage of you. And the funny thing is that a lot of people worship God because a lot of people go to church not because they love God. They go to church because they are afraid to go to hell. And do you think God doesn't know that? God knows that you are only afraid to go to hell. It is not that you love him. Most people think, oh, I'm going to church, because sorry, I will go to heaven. Heaven, heaven in they there and think say, oh, no, it's because you have been brainwashed to think that you will live life after death, right? Eternal life. So you think that's where you are going to live, my friend? You need to take care of yourself. God put you on this earth to serve a purpose, and you have to put the right measures. You have to live a purposeful life on earth before you die. Some of you don't live with a purpose. All you do is you think that you came here to just you are joking. What impact did you make make on this earth? At least your pastors, they are claiming, some of them are claiming to making an impact by, they are taking you to heaven and all that. They are making sure that they are telling the gospel so people don't act crazy. They are doing something. What are you doing? We always complain about white people taking advantage of us and white people using us and white people this, white people that. What are we doing to make sure that we don't have to depend on them? What are we doing to make sure we don't have to depend on them? Go and introduce any investment that will mature in maybe the next 20 years. A Black person will tell you, say, and I said this insurance is going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time to mature. This one, no, by that time, you are not thinking. You are broke because your parents failed to do or to have such a policy, to invest in such a policy for you. That is why your life is miserable. So you now have the chance to be able to change the story for your offsprings. You see see, let me tell you something. Charlie, I know the title is about entertainment, but I'm in the zone. So let me let me preach on. Let me give out this information because it's very important. And I'm up see Johnny kind entertainment. If you want me to stop and then move on to entertainment, let me know. But I feel like this is a message that we need to push onto our people, right? I feel like this is the message that we need to push onto our people. Now, listen, despite his parents were not rich because his grandfather and grandmother and his dad, his parents, failed to sacrifice. They failed to put measures in place. So Kwame Despite was selling CDs and doing whatever on the streets. Now, Kwame Despite was presented with an opportunity, the opportunity that his parents were given, but they did not capitalize on it. The sacrifice that his parents did not make. When the opportunity was given to him this time around, instead of him to say, Charlie, me, I like to chop my mouth, oh, me, I like to chop women, oh, you know what? He decided to invest his money. He decided to do something, sacrifice for his children. Now his children don't have to work for anyone. His children don't have to, go out there struggling because he has laid the foundation. So the question to you now that you are watching me, if you don't come from a rich family, please, the mistake that your parents made is that they did not sacrifice for you. They did not put measures in place for you. So the question that I want to ask you is now is that, please, that mistake your parents made, what measures have you put in place to try and change it, to try and correct it? The mistake your parents made by not investing in the future, have you learned anything from it? What are you doing to change the story? And I say it's a cycle. You are continuing exactly what they did. When you're walking down in Osu, when you are walking down in Jolu, when you are walking down Airport Hills, and you see children building, oh, this one my dad gave it to me. Oh, this one my grandmother gave it to me. My friend, I know you would have loved for your parents to also leave you with such properties, right? I know you would have loved for your dad to have bought a land somewhere for you and your siblings, right? Okay, they didn't. They didn't, but still, you are in a comfortable situation. Now, let me ask you, that sacrifice, that investment your parents failed to do for you, what are you doing for your children? How are you positioning your children in the right place to also enjoy the things that your parents did not give you? No, it's a cycle. So you are repeating the same thing your parents did. Your parents invested how many years into church? And what did they gain out of it? All the investment that your church, the church, your parents invested in church, how much money what did they get in return? That's what you got to ask yourself. You pay tithe, you pay offering. The pastor takes that money and then make sure he lives a good life. And at the end of the day, when you need help, he will tell you to come and buy oil before he prays for you. He will tell you to come for consultation where you have to pay for you to even have a conversation with him after paying so much every month and every weekend that you go to church. I mean, can we not see the light? Can we not see that the problem, what is going on in our society? And I said, we are just, what is the problem? Are we blind? For example, if you see the kind of life some people are living in Africa, even clean water, they don't have clean water to drink. And you have MPs driving Land Cruisers, wasting what, wasting petrol, wasting diesel. You see, it is about time. People need to wake up. This is nonsense. This is not right. And the people don't seem to see any difference because we are sleeping. Sleeping. We don't know our left from right. The way Ghanaians are suffering and our leaders are living like we are okay. So the lifestyle that your leaders are living, your leaders are living, no? When you look at your life, does it look like you are from the country these? Hello, Shatta V. Your leaders are living like the citizens are okay, like the citizens have no worries. But Ghanaian citizens are suffering. Ghanaian citizens are going through hell. But yet, they will still get out there and go to vote for someone's dad to become a president. And after that, they will go back to their Gary soakings. I don't see, I am not going to waste my time to even vote for anyone again because it does not make sense. Look at how much money they spent on inauguration. It's here, Jimmy, sir. Look at how much money they wasted on inauguration. Meanwhile, we have some people in some regions where the kids are still sitting on under trees for studies. We have regions where they don't have clean water to drink, and your leaders are having inauguration, spending that much money. We need to wake up. But you know what? We are lazy ourselves. That's why you see every country we lazy, no. You see the pastors in their country do so well. The pastors in a lazy country, they do so well because the people depend on them. They feel like the pastors will bring, will solve all their problems. So guess what? They capitalize on your desperation. They use you to make money, to build wealth, generational wealth. And you are building generational debt because you keep putting your money where you are not going to reap anything. You go to church, we teach children how to give to the church, but we don't teach children how to save money. We teach children how to give to the church, but we don't teach children how to save money. When a black child gets money, the first thing they think about is buying a name brand. Anytime a black child gets money, they want to spend money on name brands. Let live says that is America a lazy country? America is not a lazy country, but we do have lazy people living in America though, because of benefits. My guy, yo, if you don't enjoy, just get off the page, man. Don't rely so much on past. They cannot solve your problems. God gave you the brain to be able to do wonders. Now we don't want to do wonders because we are lazy people. Africa is lazy. The continent itself is lazy. because we have been brainwashed to think that the only way we can solve our problems is to go through the church. The only way we feel we can solve, and we are always thinking is that there's someone doing you. Nobody is doing you. You are doing yourself, because growing up, you were not taught. You see, there's something wrong with black people. Do you know why? Do you know there's something wrong with black people? Yes, because look at all the things that a child is supposed to get from parents, nurturing. Children are supposed to get from parents from childhood. Most black kids don't get that because of maybe a broken home, because maybe their family lack the information. And you grow up and you think that someone is doing you spiritually. No, you lack the nurturing you were supposed to get. If you give me a child who was given a great nurture, and that child did not excel in school, then I would say maybe there's an external problem. There's a problem that goes beyond, just our physical. But if you don't grow up in a good house, if you don't get a good nurturing, the probability of you excelling is very low. When you go to America and you go to some of these hoods, these ghettos, when you go to the UK and you go to some of these ghettos, the children who come from drug infested areas, majority of them become drug dealers as they grow up, because that's all they saw growing up. So don't come and tell me that someone is doing you. Abrekwa, you have not applied yourself. Abrekwa, you did not get the good nurture that you needed to be able to survive on this planet. What sense does it make that you teach children to give money to the church, but you don't teach children to save? You teach children to give money to the church, but you don't teach children to save. Does that make sense? Black people, all we know is spending. The moment we get, we want to spend. We are more of consumers than anything. That is the reason why we don't have. And in this world, if you don't produce and all you do is consume, guess what's going to happen? You will be at the bottom, because people will always produce and tell you how much it costs. So everything that you are working for, you will end up going to buy to consume. We have a problem as black people. Every race is intentional about their race, except for us. Except for us. Did you see? Did you hear about how a teacher called ICE on one of his students? A teacher who is supposed to be teaching the kids called ICE on one of his children. And you know something? I don't blame him, because he's thinking of the greater good. He feels like we need to get all the illegal immigrants out of the country so they can build America again. I don't blame him. But the question is, if it were to happen in Ghana and we were sucking all the foreigners out, would Ghanaians think about the country? No. Ghana 4 will be like, oh, no, this is my friend. Oh, this is my wife's friend. He hasn't done anything. Oh, But Americans, yes, they are your friend, all right. You go to lunch with them, you go to parties with them. When it comes to getting rid of you, they may not snitch you out, but they will keep quiet, because they are thinking of the greater good. Ask yourself, How come white people always stick together? Jews always stick together. Mexicans always stick together. Indians always stick together. Why do we always compete against each other? Why do we always compete against each other? That is our problem because we do not want to work together. Everybody wants to gain money or have money or gain wealth and to be able to say that, hey, Charlie, may I get more money past you? That is our mentality. But the level that black people are, we should be working together. When Hitler tried to get rid of all the Jews, he couldn't because the Jews got together. They stuck together. When they came to America, guess what they did? They had their own community and they built. See, before money leaves a Jew community, it passes about 5 hands. They have their own doctors, they have their own lawyers, they have their own supermarkets, they have their own religion. Everything it passes around. It does not leave. But we black people, when we get money, it leaves the community because we don't own anything. We don't produce anything. We are all consumers. We have a long way to go as black people. We have a long way to go. All right. I think I've said enough concerning this issue. It is up to you. If you want to give your money to the church and not invest in your future and your kids' future, then it's your own wahala. It is your own wahala. If you want to invest money every month, you give tithe. Every week, you give offering. And you haven't thought about saving. You don't have a dime in your account, but you are giving to the church. You are giving to the pastor who has so much money in his account. Then it's your own wahala. Don't go and blame any spirituality. Don't go and blame anybody in your family. You are doing it to yourself. You are doing it to yourself. Oh, yes, you are doing it to yourself. Because what sense does it make? You know, say, Jesus Christ does not have any bank account. The money you give on this earth, it goes to the church, and the pastor uses some of that money, and they tell you that they are using the rest to keep up. Charlie, we have a long way to go. You started a church. The pastor had no car. Then the pastor went and bought a Toyota. Now the pastor has bought a Mercedes. Now the pastor has a G-Wagon. Now his children are driving Mercedes. And you are there still hoping that God is going to change your life. Oh, you still think that God is going to change your life. Why? See, God changed the pastor's life because the brain that he gave the pastor realized that, you know what? Oh, but all these people, they have low mentality. They don't think, they are not open-minded. So let me use my intellect, let me use my intelligence to be able to convince these people and take their money. That's what they are doing. That is what they are doing. Because if that's not what they are doing, why would you give money to the church knowing that you don't have any money in your account? Why? Why? Ask yourself. Does it make sense? Princess, I see you. Let me ask you, all the people who are watching me, do you guys have any insurance policies for your children? Do you have money saved up to put your kids in private schools? No, you are in America thinking that, oh, America is free education. Yes, it is free education. But do you know why the white people put their kids in the private schools? Because they know that the education the private institutions are providing, I mean, the education the public institutions are providing It's not up to standard. It is not good. So they will rather put their kids in good schools. And do you know how they do that? They invest. They have insurance policies that will take care of their children's school. And all you do is give money to the church. And all you do is give money to the church. Real OPK, let me ask you, brother, are you a Christian or are you a Muslim? If you are a Christian, let me ask you, do you pay tithes? If you pay tithe, please, do you put money in like in the offering bowl every time you go to church? If you do, please let me ask you, do you have any insurance policies? When I say insurance policy, let me break it down for you. Do you have any insurance? In case you said something happens to you right now, it will take care of you, your health. Do you have any insurance policy where in case if you have kids and you are no longer here, it will take care of your children? If you don't, and you still give money to the church every month, then wait to me. You are not smart, because the money that you guys are giving to the church, the pastor is using that money to have insurance for his children. The pastor is using that money to have what do you kids, what is it, education fund, right? Yes. The pastor, he is using that money to make sure he puts his kids in good schools. And what are you doing? What are you doing? You are praying that God will give you a destiny helper, and that destiny helper is going to take care of your children. We come from a community. We teach children to give to the church, but we never teach children to save for their future. When you go to white homes, the kids have piggy bank. Piggy bank is a small pig-looking, container that kids put money in. Their parents teach them how to save, because they know the essence, the importance of saving. But now, black children are taught. They are taught to put their money in an offering bowl. They are taught to put their money in tithing. They are taught to give the pastor on Pastor's Appreciation Day. They are taught when they go to church to raise up their hands and pledge whenever the church needs money. When you finish, then you come and blame God that someone is in your family who is messing up your life. Have you ever heard a pastor pray for a destiny helper? Yes, he prayed for destiny helpers. And you guys, the church members, Monamuye destiny helpers. You guys are his destiny helpers. But when it's time for you to have a destiny helper, he will tell you to buy oil, to come and pay consultation fee, to come for him to pray for you in hopes of a destiny helper. Hey, Charlie, are we that slow? And your pastors will be chopping church members. Then you'll be like, oh, but he's a human being. He's a human being. He's not God. He's a human being. Come on. Any pastor in America who commits adultery will even step down, because they know that they are not fit to lead. They are supposed to lead by example. They will step down because they know that they cannot occupy that position anymore, because they are not fit to. But in Ghana here, all these one-man churches, they know that the people are worshiping him. They are not worshiping God. So they can lie, they can change, they can control, and they can tell the people They have ways to control the people for them to think anyhow they want them to think. Now Ojaba would not sorry them pretending to cry, and Ghanaians are like, "Oh my God, he's a man of God, but he's a human being. You guys should forgive him." We will have, we will never grow as a country. We will never grow as a people because we don't want to reason. We do not want to reason as people. We want to always wait for God to do a miracle instead of applying our brains. Black man will always how much actions do you put after praying? I am not saying you shouldn't pray. You should pray. Whatever you believe in, pray to it. But make sure that after praying, you take the action. Because prayers without action, no, it will amount to nothing. Amount to what? Nothing. So you need to pray. And after praying, you take actions. All right. So let's switch it up a little bit. Unfortunately, we have leaders who do not think about the future of the country. They do think about their family. They make sure that they put measures in place. Akufado's dad did whatever he can for his child to be able to have something to sell for in order to become a president. Akufado basically sold a lot of his dad's properties to become a president. And I applaud his dad for doing that. His dad did a great job. These leaders are taking care of their family, but they are not taking care of the country as a whole. Most, Queen of Grace, I see you. Most of the young guys who are involved in criminal and fraudulent activities, making money from fraud. I'm not knocking your hustle. You got to do what you got to do because you are desperate and you are coming from poverty. So you are trying to make it out. And I understand. But one thing I want to tell you is that when you make that money, make sure you remember why you started hustling, why you started defrauding people. You need to understand where you are coming from. You need to understand that, yo, I came from poverty. My mom is still renting, so I don't need to go and buy a new Mercedes. These people will see Shatawale in a brand new car, Shatawale in a mansion, Shatawale, and they want to live that lifestyle. That is what Black people are driven. You see, me right now, I am driven by wealth, generational wealth. Everything I have done some in life. There's nothing that I will intrigue me. Like I want no. I have done everything. I have messed with some of the nicest girls. I have driven some of the nicest cars. I have lived in the US for how so it is not about me. It now is about my children and my grandchildren. So every move that I make, I want to make sure that I'm doing an investment for the future. So if you are coming from poverty, if you are poor, and unfortunately, you are coming from a country like Ghana, where the leaders don't care about the country, and you have started defrauding people and have made money from defrauding people, please don't go out there and try to look rich. You don't have to impress anybody. You don't have to let people think that or know that you are rich. You get me? It is only poor people, people with poor mentality. They operate that way. They want to show off that they. So if you see somebody like Shatawale out there showing his cars, you don't know the hard work that he's put in. You don't know the investments that he's done. Some of the cars you may see Shatawale drive, those cars, where he's making money from what do you call it? From his companies, and he's using the residuals to buy those cars. And you see Shatawale driving those cars, and you are thinking like, "Oh my God, the next time I get some money from fraud, I will go and buy a Lamborghini. The next time I get money from, I will go and buy a Mercedes. You see, we don't think. Most black people want to live their life after someone has worked hard to build a lifestyle. Like Shatta Wale, we all know his story. We all know where he started from. We all know where he ended up. And we all know how he came back stronger. So why would you want to live Shatta Wale's lifestyle if you have never been through what he's been through? Why do you want to drive a car that you have never worked for? So the moment you are able to defraud someone and make money, please make good use of it. Ifo, thank you. Make good use of that money. Put that money to investment so your children don't have to experience the poverty that you experienced. So right now, there are so many fraud boys who are so popular back in like maybe 15 years ago. Where are they now? Where are they? They are nowhere to be found. They used to go clubbing. They used to throw money. They used to have the nicest cars. Where are they? They are nowhere to be found because they did not invest. They only showed off. They only wanted the people to know that, hey, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I can afford this. But who cares? The funny thing is, it is only poor people who keep track of, oh, Charlie, wait, this person has this car. This person, that rich people, they only care about making more money. So you from poverty, you get a chance with some money. And instead of investing that money into something that will change or bring generational wealth, you decide to go buy a Lamborghini. So you've seen Shatta Wale driving it. You decide to go buy a mansion, which you cannot rent it out because you see Shatta Wale in a big mansion. Please, let's change our mentality. All right. So, so today's topic, right? Oh, bro, you see, I get where you are coming from. The same way our parents said we shouldn't talk about sex. We shouldn't talk about sex education, but we are still having teenage pregnancy, right? So yes, we have to talk about fraud because they are doing it. It is not something that we can stop. Bro, in every country, do you know how America came to be? Do you know how the American industry, the music industry came to be? We have so many drug dealers who were funding American, what do you call it, music industry. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but you have to make sure that you are using that money wisely. Shatta V, thank you. You have to make sure that you are using that money wisely. I am sure if these kids had something better to do, they will not go out there to defraud. I don't condone fraud. I don't condone fraud. I'm not, encouraging anybody to go into fraudulent. All I'm saying is that if you do or if you are in fraud, stop trying to impress people. Use that money to change your generation. Use that money to change the home that you are coming from. If you came from poverty and that made you become a fraudster, make sure that your children don't have to live that lifestyle. You went through it so that your children don't have to experience it. But if you get your first money, your first check, and you go out there, go buy a C300, a Mercedes, and guess what? Because of your illiterate, your ignorant ass don't understand how much it takes to maintain a Mercedes. You go out there and buy a Mercedes, and guess what? You are not able to change the oil every 3 months. You are not able to change parts. That's when you realize that the car, it is not an asset. It is what? A liability. Sometimes I see these fraudsters and then I feel sad. I'm like, yo, you went through hell. Your children don't have to go through hell. For all those for those of you who were hailing some of the biggest fraudsters maybe about 10 years ago, where are they now? Where are they now? So Charlie, I'm not telling you to do fraud, but if you are doing fraud, make sure you remember why you started defrauding people in the first place. All right? Uh-huh. So I posted that as an up and coming artist, you should never, I mean, never feature Shatawale. You should never feature Sarkodie. You should never, you should never, damn, I need a drink. Thank you, Mr. D. All right, sorry about that. As an up and coming artist, you should never feature these people I just mentioned, especially Shatawale, because your career will die. It is two things: either your career will die, or you will have to continue featuring big names for the rest of your career. Oh yes, you see, so many artists want the chance when they go for interviews and they are asked, "Who do you want to feature?" You're like, I want to feature Satawale. I want to feature Stoneboy. I want to feature Sarkodie. Do you guys remember Curl Songs? Curl Songs, Curl Songs came out, featured Shatawale on Jennifer Lomote. He featured Shatawale, I mean, he featured Sarkodie on Jennifer Lomote, right? And the next song, I mean, Jennifer Lomote was a major banger. Meboa. Am I lying? Okay. Then the next song, he featured who? He featured Sarkodie again. And please, where is Carl Songs? Where's Carl Songs? Miss V came out, featured Zeal from VIP. Right? Then after that, she featured so many other artists. So throughout her career, no, every time she had to feature somebody. The reason it is not good to feature those big names out of the gate is because you have not built a fan base for yourself. So the moment you come out with a song featuring Shatawale, Stoneboy, or Sarkodie, you will get the fans from those people, Sarkodie, Stoneboy, and Shatawale. Their fan base will come to listen to you, right? They will come and listen to you. And guess what? After that, every song that you drop, they expect you to be performing at that level. They expect you to be bringing out the same type of song or the same heavyweight banger that you did with Shatawale, Stoneboy, or Sarkodie. So if your next song after featuring these big stars, it is you alone, guess what? You are going to have a hard time. So what you are supposed to do is to build your own little fan base. You are supposed to build a small fan base that they are in love with your craft. Look at Ebony. Ebony came out. The first song was Blood on the Dance Floor. The next song was Coupe. She did so many songs by herself. She did not need any star. She became a hit artist doing her own song. And after building a fan base and cementing her name, she needed a big star to move her to that next level. And she decided to feature who? Shatta. And that moved her to the next level. But if right out the gate, you want to go and feature a major star, guess what's going to happen to you? After you do that collaboration, the fans will expect the same type of feature in your next song, and which you may not be able to pull your weight. So guess what? They will be disappointed. They will leave. Oh, yes, they will leave. They will leave. We have so many artists in this industry who came out the gate featuring big stars. And after they dropped their own singles, they flopped. They couldn't maintain their career because guess what? The fans were disappointed when they dropped their own song. So you need to build your little fan base. Yes, build your little fan base and make sure they are in love with your craft. So the moment you decide to feature a big star, your fan base will now, guess what? The fan base of the star will now become, some will come and listen and some will become your fan base now. But if you have no fan base at all and you feature Satawale, after that song, the fans from Satawale will be expecting something greater from you. And if you are not able to do it, guess what's going to happen? That's the end of you. That will be the end of you. It will require you to work way too hard, because any song that you would drop, they would want you to be putting out those type of music. All right, so let's put that one aside. I think last time we talked about the whole, no, I think I've spoken about the Sarkodie issue, right? And how he doesn't show up for videos and all kinds of stuff, right? I've spoken about it. If I haven't spoken about it, then listen. You cannot stress it too much when you are expecting a favor from someone. When it's a favor, you cannot complain too much. Ask yourself, how come anytime Sarkodie needs any artist in this industry, they go running to Sarkodie? Because Sarkodie has positioned his brand in a way that you would love to work with him. And working with him will be beneficial to you. You see, this industry is about what have you done for us lately? Not what you did before. What have you done for us lately? So people are quick to move on to the next act. So as an artist, if you don't position your brand well, if you don't try to sustain your career by doing a lot of features and dropping a lot of music and being relevant all the time, guess what? A time will come when you reach out to your peers, they may not want to mess with you. They may not want to be on your songs because you haven't done anything for them lately. Jay-Z once said, people say that I've done this, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But all of them who complain about Jay-Z, they are complaining about favors he didn't do for them. But why do you complain about favors? Why do you complain about favors? As I say here, if I ask you for a favor and you don't do me that favor, I may not be happy, but I will not complain, because once I complain, that means I am acting like I'm entitled. You have to. But no, you don't have to do me that favor. I'm only asking you to do me a favor. All these people who complained about Shatta Wale, none of them asked for a refund. Did any one of them tell Sarkodie to give the money back? No, because they did not pay. They did not pay for a collaboration. They did not pay for him to appear in the video. So all these things were what? Were favors. So people need to. I see, and I'm not saying that it is right for him to be doing what he's doing. No. All I'm saying is, hey, if the person disappoints you, just take it like a man and move on. And in your career, you have to, you know what? You have to put him on your blacklist. But guess what? You may not be able to put him on your blacklist because every time, you may need him. Every time you may need him because he does his things well. Most of the time, poor people will be like, oh, I can't wait. This guy, I will show him. I will show him. You will never be able to show him because that guy is always making sure that he's taking care of himself. He has positioned himself in a way that he will never come and beg. Some people will be like, oh, but you know what? You don't know Iriase. You don't know Iriase. My friend, do what you can do. Stop worrying about people doing you favors. Ghanaians are always chasing favors. Sarkodie, you guys should let his name rest. You know, let his name rest. He has worked hard to position his brand in a light that looks attractive, that makes you want to collaborate with him all the time. You failed to do that to yourself. Somebody like Kwao failed to position his brand well. Yes, Kwao failed to position his brand well. Adam was doing so well. Adam was one of the best. Adam is so talented. But guess what? Adam just, I don't know what happened. He just fell off the scene. And like I said, in show business, it is all about what have you done for us lately. If you haven't done anything for us lately, then you are not relevant. Anybody who is relevant and who has positioned his career in the right light, anytime they call on Sarkodie, Sarkodie is there for them. Akobwa said it. Anytime he needs Sarkodie, Sarkodie doesn't hesitate. That means he's a commodity that Sarkodie always needs. You understand? You have to make sure that you give out some special stuff that everybody needs. But if you are not that special, then nobody needs you. That's when people will begin to flex you. That's why Sarkodie flexes people. You get me? Because he knows he has positioned himself well. And it's not like people don't disappoint Sarkodie. People disappoint Sarkodie all the time. What did Sarkodie say? He said that before it was so easy for him to get Kim Promise on a song. But now it has changed. He has to go through so much bureaucracy. He has to go through so many people to get him to do the song. And that is how the industry is supposed to be. The industry is not supposed to be this friends and friends. Oh, this person is my homeboy. That person is my homeboy. No, the industry is supposed to grow to the point where you are assigned to a label, where the label they are dealing to make sure that they bring out the best. But if you are doing homeboy and homeboy, like and this industry will never grow. The Sarkodie that Kwao you put on your that you guys were both on Adam's song. It is not the same Sarkodie. That time Sarkodie was, what was his signature? What was his signature? Over the Pombedi. Then he moved to, what do you call it? One time for your mind, y'all. Then after that, he moved to Hamba Kubia 10K. You can tell that the guy has evolved. The guy has built the brand to a point where you will always need him. And the people that he feels he needs to get on his project, he does everything that he needs to do to get them on his project. So Ghanaians, build brand and then you should make your brand appealing. You should make people want to, like, you should make yourself a hot commodity where everybody will need you. Men who need cheap. Don't spend money on your brand. Spend money. Ramatu, I see you. Spend money on your brand. Don't just foul brand and then you basa basa. Do you think Sarkodie decided to do a high life album for nothing? He did that high life album for his brand to look appealing to older folks. For his brand to look appealing to older folks. Let me ask you, for those of you who knows Kwakese, please, you can say older folks everything that far dream. You were hot in what 2006 there, and the last song you dropped was what? Mami Bodondo Papa Esa. Look at the concept. Look at the storyline you are still putting out there. Sarkodie will put out no sir, but when you listen to the song, he is advising younger guys not to spend money on these girls who are materialistic. You get me? Satawale will drop My Level. Will drop Mahama paper to let you know that Charlie, everything no, it be money you for hustle hard. So what I say? So you have to make your brand look appealing. You cannot just be doing just anything. Anything. So they would just say, and it sounds like a hit. Nah, no. Look, ask yourself, how old are you? For how long have you been putting out those type of songs? Huh? And every time you want to do songs like that and put Sarkodie on it, how do you feel like a guy who's almost in his 40s talking about Mami Bodondo Papa Esa? What message is that putting out? Like, what message message ben and what they trouble thing. I'm not saying that don't do party songs, but some Mami Bodondo Papa Esa no. That one cry, you were able to convince Sarkodie to jump on it. But you have to grow. And one thing I have realized is that it's like Ghanaian artists, they don't evolve. They don't want to grow. They want to still compete with the young ones. They don't want to grow with their fan base. And I don't blame them because the older folks don't really patronize music like that. But guess what? The older folks go out there and they enjoy Kofi Kenata, don't they? They enjoy that Lumba, don't they? They enjoy Oforian Ponsa, don't they? That means there are type of music that as you age, you are supposed to begin to make so that you can transition with your fan base. Last time when I mentioned that Papi Kojo and Jebi are still making songs like Enkwalanyum, like Michiano or Pinterest, and as Princess, and Nena Hofene War me, and this shit don't make sense. And when you are in your 40s and you cannot tour, you cannot have shows. Your peers, older folks will come on. Then you ask yourself, what? I'm telling you, Jebi, you are 35. Papi Kojo, you may be in your late 30s or maybe mid 30s. You cannot continue to make music for the children. Your body of work should definitely be, diversified. You have to make music for the older folks so that when you are in your 40s, you can go on tour, play. Then you play music that resonates with your fan base. But why am I saying? And Kwalano, because and Kwalana Dreamwell Emre it's easier to make songs for the kids, You keep making songs for the kids. You keep making songs for the kids. Last time people were like, oh, but we are not complaining. Yeah, you are not complaining. where you are not complaining when he's in his 50s and he cannot perform Tonga and it's our princess, not princess now. At that time, you will be far gone. You still be listening to Amachi the Day and that Lumba. You'll be going to what do you call it? Sarkodie's show because he has good songs that you can vibe to. It is about time. Ghanaian artists, we build our brand well. We evolve. We are afraid to experiment. We are afraid to leave, to do songs that make sense. Majority of them. So everyone is doing Odohonyom and our party songs. We need to move beyond that. Now, I want to touch on this last one. Akwabua was on Hits FM and he was asked about Sarkodie when he's trying to get Sarkodie on a song. How difficult is it? And he said that it is not difficult at all. Like he just has to send him a message, let him know, that he's booked a studio on this date. Then Sarkodie will get back to him. That's it. Then after that, MC Portfolio may mention that Sarkodie will, I forget how he stated it, but basically he said that Sarkodie's brand will forever live on because of one album, which is Mary. And that Mary, we all know that Sarkodie give a lot of credit to Akwabua because apparently the whole album was Akwabua's album he was about to drop. Then Sarkodie decided to buy it. Now, when Portfolio was saying that, Portfolio says, oh, and we know that that song you contributed about 70%. Then Akwabua was like, oh, 90%. 90%. With his demeanor and how he said it. You know what? I think people need to be educated when it comes to these music things. If you write a whole album and I buy the album, and guess what? I take out all your verses. And as a rapper, I put 2 verses on each song. And I even bring third parties to come and also collaborate on the same, some of the songs. You no longer own 50% as you think, because right now it is left with your chorus, my 2 verses, and verses from other artists. So that means now the music is being split in many ways. The songs are no longer the songs that you, Akwabua, you are ready to drop. Now you still have your chorus, but guess what? Now I have 2 verses on it. And I may have he added Obrafo on one of the songs. He added Efia, he added Pat Thomas, he added Mugis. So all these people, if they wrote for themselves, then Akwabua, you no longer own 90% as you claim. Because now some of the content, new content has been added. And guess what? If we decide to give credit, you may not even get 50% on some of the songs. Yes, you did the chorus. You may have done a hook. Sarkodie did 2 verses. So a hook and a chorus is 50-50, right? I mean, a hook and a chorus is about 50%. 2 verses is also 50%. So you no longer own 90% as you claim. Yeah, we know that you came up with a concept and all that. But guess what? Now you have so many different artists who have also participated, who have also added their own content to the music. So please, and this is the reason a lot of artists don't like to have ghostwriters. Because the moment people write for them, they go out there. And I mean, Akwabua has not been disrespectful in any manner before. But the way this time around, he said that, oh, I own about 90%. It is no more like 90%. Yeah, you had 100% before. But after Sarkodie bought the album and decided to feature other people and put his verses and take some stuff out, you no longer own 90%. You own about, let me be 50 or 40%, because some of the percentages will go to other people. So we need to learn the game, and we need to know how we speak on air so that people don't take it offensive, because there are so many people that may have said things that Sarkodie heard, but he did not respond. You may say something disrespectful to him. He may hear you, he may hear it in the streets or in the studio, but he will not respond. The next time you need a favor from him, guess what? He will not give you that favor. So sometimes people don't know why he acts like that. And one thing that people also need to understand is that sometimes people will give songs to Sarkodie to record, right? Then when they gave the song to Sarkodie, it had just let me say Kofi Mole. When Kofi Mole gave the song to Sarkodie, it was just Sarkodie. Then you tell me that you are doing a video, then I come that you have put Bosom Pion on the song. Sarkodie has built a brand to a level that he may not want to affiliate with certain artists. So he may think that, okay, no, I don't want to get on this song because you did not tell me that you will be putting Bosom Pion on the song. I am not saying that's the case, but I'm saying that there are so many people that if you don't inform them, they won't say anything. They have done the verse for you, but when it comes to shooting a video, because of the person you put on the song, they may not want to shoot the video. So we have to learn all these things about show business. There's so much to this business. There are so many artists that their labels will tell you that Akwayo, if you shoot a video with this guy, your brand, you lose value. So don't do it. Why do you think Wizkid did a song with Drake and Drake never showed up for the video? That's because maybe the labels did not clear it. The labels will be like, is this beneficial? If it is not beneficial, then don't do it. So before you even decide to feature an artist, you need to ask him, bro, I need you on this song. After recording the song, I would like to shoot a video for it. Will you be available? And actually get confirmation. And when you set dates, a week prior to the date, you have to even call them for confirmation. 2 days before the date, you have to call for confirmation. Don't just assume that he will just show up. Sarkodie is not a cheap brand. Sarkodie has built his brand. The brand is so attractive that he cannot afford for anyone to bring, any sort of blemishes on his brand. So people who are into the music industry, who are listening, please position yourself well in the industry. Position yourself well. There are so many artists who have bangers. I mean, hits after hits, but still they have no respect in the industry because of how they position themselves, because of the things they will say on radio, because of how, their affiliations, because maybe they are just anyhow. They don't, so someone like Sarkodie doesn't play with his brand. So if you want to mess with Sarkodie as far as collaboration and all that, bear in mind that he's very picky. And being picky is what has taken him, or what has kept him alive in this industry. Go into the Nigerian industry. How many rappers are still relevant in Nigerian industry? Not many. The whole Africa, how many rappers have been able to stay relevant for those many years? Not many. Sarkodie is special, and the reason he's special is because of how much he has invested in his craft. So please, for all the young ones coming out, you need to learn the game. My name is Jebi the Mogul. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I hope the young ones who are coming are able to, take something from this show. All right. Have a wonderful night. Peace. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. All right. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.